That could have been easier. Hey folks, Bruce here from Bruce and Krista, and I'm doing a little bit of work on our Mitsubishi Fuso camper conversion. I thought I'd share a couple of tips with you on things that can make your life easier while you're putting together plumbing in your conversion or your boat or any other kind of mobile or tiny home situation. PEX, PVC, Poly. What do I use where? Well, in general, what I've been doing is PEX for supply lines because you can make a long run, it's good pressure rating, and cheap and easy to connect. PVC, drains, anything that's a larger diameter is going to have a good flow. This is not really high pressure rated, but for a drain it doesn't matter. This has good freeze protection if it's underneath your vehicle and it happens to get frozen, it can expand a little bit. Poly, well, anything that you can't make the other two work for. That's how I've done it. On your PEX, plastic connections, brass connections. What I tend to do, plastic on cold, brass on hot. Pretty sure these are rated for heat anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but it's an easy way to not worry about it. Hose clamps. Don't use cheap hose clamps. Cheap hose clamp, not cheap hose clamp. Mild steel. Stainless steel, skinny, fat. I don't know what the intent is when they're designing these, but it's not for much. Don't waste your money on these. Buy the good ones. If this clamp has the screw head facing up, I would never be able to get at it with the screwdriver if I need to tighten it or change one of these fittings once it's installed underneath the floor. So make sure that your gear clamps face in a direction that once installed, you can still get at it. Now you want to determine whether the system that you're installing is critical or not so critical. This, for example, is going to be part of my gray water system, so I'm not that concerned if I have a small leak, more so because this is underneath the body. So if there's a little drip that comes out of here, I don't want that, but it's not the end of the world. Because of that, I'm only going to use a single gear clamp on each end. Now, if this was inside the body, and I have enough space here, I would definitely be putting a second clamp on here, okay? That's a redundancy in case one of the clamps slips or skips a tooth or anything else. There's enough room on here to get a second clamp and it's inside or it's a critical system that I don't want to leak, like black water. I'm going to put 2 clamps on. Now, when you're doing a second clamp, you do want to make sure that, again, orient it so that you can get at the head, but put the second clamp with the head opposite. It just gives a little bit better clamping ability with having 2 clamps opposite. Now this one's a little bit different. I bought this thermostatic mixing valve off of Amazon, and the threads that are on here for the inlet are a straight thread with a gasket face seal. That's not normal for most plumbing connections. Most plumbing connections you will find are a tapered thread. Okay, this is NPT. NPT stands for National Pipe Tapered. And the way that works is as you tighten the fitting in, the thread diameter actually slowly gets larger and larger and larger, so it gets tighter and tighter and tighter the farther you screw it in. That's what's making the seal. On these, they're straight threads and they rely on a gasket on the face, similar to a garden hose. Now the shower head connection fits on here and that matches, but I need to get this to go to PEX because that's what the rest of my plumbing is. PEX fittings in general, like this, are NPT because that's what most pipe fittings are. What I've found is you can buy female swivel fittings like that. Okay, that is a female swivel PEX fitting. They're called FIP, I believe. Female swivel adapter. And this is a straight thread. The trick here is that these are designed to go into fittings that are conical. So if we pop that out, you can see this is cone shaped. So it's designed to slowly press into a fitting, and this has a little rubber sort of gasket around the outside. So as you can see, if I put that up against this flat face, it's not going to seal very well. However, if we take this gasket off, okay, and shorten this fitting here by just a little bit, there's actually a mold line on there that's about I don't know, 2.5 millimeters in, and then you flip this gasket around so you have a flat face on there. This is now going to allow it to seal flat against the flat face, and that small amount that you remove is going to allow this to compress when you tighten the cap on. That should make a proper seal. Well, I hope you're able to pick up a tip or a trick that you can use there in your tiny house build, your boat repair, your van conversion, whatever it may be. Stick around, there's more videos coming. I will be doing an electrical video shortly to help out some people that seem to have a little bit of difficulty understanding electrical and how and why we use what and where. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing, and you can also check us out on Instagram at Bruce and Krista. Thanks.